June. Welcome to our video interview about stock trading. So we are really honored to be with you today. I'm sure we will be learning a lot from you since you've been in the trading business for 20 years and more, right?
Full-time siguro, almost 10 years.
Okay. So what made you decide to be in full-time, to be in this business full-time?
Because I like the mental challenge. I like every day you don't know what's going to happen. Then you can do your analysis and then it's easy to execute. I think those are the things that I like about it.
So, what are the basics of stock market? Kasi lately, no, maraming mga clients ko, mga friends na they can hear that okay ang mag-invest sa stocks. Pero wala pa silang background. Ano yung basic na stock market?
I think basically it's basic if you're doing it for, let's say, long-term and investing. So you're just buying into a business. So you have to have a long-term outlook when you go into investing in stocks. And then trading it's another skill, so you still have to learn. So the main thing you have to do is basically learn about it. You could attend seminars, you could read books, and then you have to try it out too. So you could start small. So I think that's what would I advise to clients or to people who wanted to start investing or trading in the stock market. So you have to start small, and then you have to be big on education and learning. And then small on capital. Eventually, pag puta ka na, I think you can increase it.
How much yung small? How much is that?
When I started with less than 50,000 pesos. Kasi okay lang naman if 2,000, if you really just want to try it out, masabi mo at least nag-try ka, diba? Pero kasi for the stock to be, para ma-maximize mo yung commission per buy and sell mo, try to make it 8,000 pesos.
Sa every buy and sell? Okay.
At least 8,000 pesos para sulit yung commission. Kasi usually it's 20 pesos or whichever is higher. So kahit 1,000 or 2,000 yung transaction, 20 pesos.
So nung in-invest mo yung 50,000, what happened? Double ba siya agad? With your experience?
I think it was a good experience. I started during the SARS of 2000. And then I think I bought the LDT around 400. And then after 3 months, it went up to 500.
Wow.
During the time, hindi pa uso yung mga online. So phone broker pa. I would not have sold it if the broker didn't call me up to tell me na, you might want to sell already. But then it went high after that.
Talaga? So you sold it na. How would you know if it's time to sell?
It's not a perfect buy and sell, but it depends on your objective. So let's say you bought it for a certain reason. So let's say for me, I bought it because the book value is more than 500 and then it's trading like 400 and below book value. So I bought it. So when it's above book value na. So if I took the profit. So there are many ways to exit an investment. So depending on your objectives, let's say kung ano yung strategy mo going in and then what's the scenario in the future. So there are many factors. But basically, before buying, you have to already have a reason of buying and a point where you want to sell or you may want to sell.
Oo. So, importante talaga yung planning. So, we need to know the purpose of the money, kung para saan, and how long, di ba? So, it is good to have financial advisors to guide them, no? Kung paano, kung anong pwedeng gawin sa pera nila.
Especially if you're starting out. Kasi, let's say, for me, when I started going to the gym, I have no idea. So, I have to hire a personal trainer.
Tama.
Although, kaya ko naman just do it like online. Pero kasi risky siya in a way na pag nabagsakan ako ng weight, syempre, ma-hospitalize ako. Sobrang mas malaki pa yung magagastos ko and then re-invest pa sa health mo. Compared sa, let's say, there's someone guiding me na and then someone I can ask about what should I eat, what should I do. So, it helps a lot.
Tama. So, you mentioned kanina na before, puro manual brokerage pa, ngayon online na, di ba? Ano yung mare-recommend mo na online portal?
Most of the online portals naman, they have their different strengths and weaknesses. So, depends on what kind of investor trader. So, if you're an investor, I think some of the ones you like might want yung mga mas may okay research, and you will only know that some of them they give trials. And so, if they give, you can try it out. So, let's say 7-day trial, at least just to get into the platform, see their research, look at the how do they do the orders, and then depends actually on the person. So for me, I have several online brokers. So just para merong backup. Kasi sometimes, since online siya, there are many things that could happen. Like nagbe-breakdown yung system pag sobrang daming orders. So those are the risks na meron sa online, which happens.
Yes, yes,
Yun. So,
tama.
sometimes naiinis yung ibang tao kasi syempre, let's say, dahil na pag medyo mabilis volatile yung market, they miss the opportunity to sell and then lugi na sila when they actually have profited. Yun.
Yes.
So, I think that was also the lesson before when I think it was 2008, nagka-crash because I had some online holdings before. So, that's why I don't trade as much na, well, more on like, I trade like most of the positions are long-term or at least few months to a few years, months, compared sa, let's say, very short-term na volatile trade.
So parang importante talaga na we diversify our investments. So para ma-cover up yung mga uncontrollable things like that.
Yes, parang banks din. I remember when BPI closed out and then what if yung pera mo lahat nasa BPI tapos wala kang mag-ari, di ba? Parang ganun din in a way sa broker. Sometimes, let's say, gusto mong bumili, so you have other brokerage to use when let's say, nag-breakdown yung isang broker.
Okay. Sa ngayon, with the pandemic situation, ano yung mare-recommend mong companies na magandang pasukan?
I think for me, for right now, hindi pa ganun ka-stable yung mga earnings. Let's say, yung mga malls, yung mga property, hindi pa sila ganun ka-stable. Although okay sila long-term. I think maybe if you're looking 5 years out, it's okay. Pero sometimes kasi, ang problem is that, let's say, you bought something, let's say 30, and then it dropped to 20. Ang question is, can you take the volatility? Some people cannot take it, so they lose money in the end. So, but if you can take it, then go ahead. I think you could buy most of the index stocks, most of the blue chips at good prices. Okay, some are better than others or cheaper than others. So you can compare. So for me, I'm looking at more on the things that is very, well, will be used even after the pandemic. So ngayon, they have booming sales, but at the same time, let's say hindi nag-booming sales, in the future, there's still growth. So let's say, ano ba yung mga usually gagamitin mo sa kahit may pandemic? Diba? You have the internet, you have the electricity, you have the water, you have the utilities, most of them. Ang problem naman is they have medyo high prices on right now kasi everyone's took them. So I'm looking also at the, let's say, the canned goods manufacturer, the pasta makers, the consumer goods. Kasi you expect that it won't basically, people would basically won't go out agad na kumain or mag-take out or magpa-deliver. So they most probably did still cook at home, let's say for this year. Diba? So they're going to use those canned goods. And the supermarket, they're going to go to the supermarket more often. So yun yung titignan mo. Because alam mo na doon na yung demand, doon na yung okay na yung products. So hintay mo lang yung price. So every time na bumagsak yung price. So let's say what are the goods na na nasa yung mga supermarket, and then sa mga canned goods. So yun yung titingnan mo na pag bumagsak yung price nila, and then you might want to look at it.
Okay, sige. So how much naman yung pwede natin i-allocate? So let's say ito yung 100% of savings, how much yung hindi siya ganun ka-risky to invest in the stock market?
So it always depends on the capacity to take risks and the ability to take risks of the client. So you have to look at it. Kasi if you have the capacity, let's say, okay, you 100,000 can put, let's say that's a big amount already. So pwedeng ilagay mo lahat yun. Pero kung yung ability to take risk naman niya, kung sobrang palang ayaw niya nang malugi kahit 1%, 5%, then I won't actually advise him to invest in the stock market, diba?
Yes.
Or so depends on the capacity of to take risk and the ability. Yung iba naman, let's say 100,000 savings niya, tapos may mga utang siya. So let's say ang available lang talaga niya is 1,000 pesos after you deduct all the emergency funds, all the payables. So again, kahit gusto niyang ilagay 100,000, I would syempre advise him to put it also kasi you have to pay first your consumer debt, credit card, so yung mga other things. Ayun, so you have to it depends on those two factors. So personally, the younger you are, let's say, and you're single, the more capacity you have take risk. And then if you're like on the retirement age na, or you have lots of dependents and support, you're supporting, so it's going to reduce your appetite or at least your capacity to take risk.
Tama. Okay. Yan. So, you mentioned kanina kasi ita-timing natin. Let's say kung bumaba na yung market, you put more money, di ba? So, how much % yung kailangan natin yung magandang iset aside na para nakaabang for those good timing?
Well, let's say, depending on the person again. Pero kung, let's say in my case, let's say nasa 5-6 na yun yung market. So, let's say if every month I'm putting, let's say, 5,000. So, Kasi I'm putting every month 5,000. And then, if 5,600 ngayon, let's say naging siyang 5,000 na lang ulit.
Okay.
So, I would put maybe 6,000 na. Kasi mas mababa siya, di ba?
Yes.
So, it's it's down more than 10%. So, I'm gonna put more than 10%, right? So,
Yes.
yung more or less strat. So, you could actually do a schedule. Depende rin sa strategy mo. So, there's no fixed rules regarding how you invest. Pero, ang importante, you invest, di ba? And then, you invest more if it goes down and you're a long-term investor. And then, if it's going higher or mataas na, you still invest 5,000 but you don't increase it kasi tumataas yung market. And most of us, we do it reverse it. Pag tumataas din tayo lalagay ng madami kasi we feel tataas pa, di ba? Ayaw natin maiwan, which is dapat reverse. So, yun, I think it's more on psychology.
Yes. Okay. Kasi totoo naman, it's very fearful lalo na ngayon. Syempre nakikita natin yung market na bagsak talaga. And kung you have little money, di ba, na hindi naman little money lang, tas i-invest natin, baka mawala. Yun yung mga fear ng mga clients natin.
So, ang suggestion is, you're going to allocate money that you won't need for the next 5 to 10 years.
So, can you share with us kung how much yung nag-gain mo every year from the stock market?
Depends. Actually, for my short-term fund, when you have a small amount of stock, it's easier to trade it or to invest it. If you have a bigger amount, and you have lesser time to manage it, syempre, it's going to be lower. So for my long term, my target is around 15 to 20%. So on average, I think I usually naman na-hit yung target. For the short term one, you can do as much as 50%. Let's say for under 1 million pesos, it's doable to make 50%. Okay. So it also depends on the market. Kasi pag down market, depende sa system din. So let's say down yung market. So yung system ko, maybe I can make from 50% maging 20% na lang. Diba? So but then if up yung market from 50%, maybe you can make 80%. So more or less, so hopefully, you should make at least maybe more than 10%. Otherwise, mag-index ka na. If you're, let's say, making 8% on the stock, or you're not making any money for the past 5 years, much better. You just go to with the index funds. And then, yun na lang yung i-buy and hold mo.
Okay.
If you're not making, let's say, for those people who have been trading stocks for the past 5 years, or 5 to 10 years, and then they're not making at least 8% a year on average. So, mag-index fund ka na lang.
Okay. Yung index fund kasi for the past 5 years, parang hindi masyado nagki-gain. So, what do you recommend?
Usually kasi, if you observe the history ng stock prices, even sa US, sometimes, meron silang, I think if you look there's a recent period na 10 years, basically wala kang kinita sa US. And then after nung the 10, bigla siyang sumipa. So nabawi niya lahat yung walang gain
for the past
10
years.
For the past 10 years. Ng 23 years or 4 years. So hindi mo naman alam ngayon kung kailan ka papasok. So if you're like passive investor, you have to put every month na lang. And then if it goes lower, you put more.
Okay, sige. So final tip to our investors, future investors, no? Ano yung what should they do right now, no, with the current pandemic, no, right now?
Right now, I think they have to check yung liquidity nila, yung emergency funds, yung obligations, payables, and then insurance, ayun, health insurance, so yung life insurance. So dapat okay yung mga side na yun. Kasi kung may hinuhulugan sila every month or every quarter sa insurance, so they have to look at it. And then kung may obligations sa, let's say, other property investments, or meron silang mga payables na due, after mo ma-settle, and then you go look in for investing na you can put the money in more 5 years or yun. So,
and then hati-hati.
And then allocate mo na lang. Kasi right now, I think emergency funds you have to increase. So let's say kung dati 3 months ang emergency funds, maybe it's time gawin mo 6 months, diba? Kasi these times more uncertain. You don't know, baka magka-lockdown ulit after this. After mag-open up, and then magka-lockdown ulit.
Mag-second wave, no?
And then mas ayaw syempre mas mahirap ngayon mag-borrow ng money kasi everyone needs funding din. Kailangan din most ng tao ng pera. So you have to have more cash. Kumbaga, than usual, than the normal. Maybe double, if you can.
Yeah. So once na na-meet natin yung double na liquidity, that's the time we go investing in the stock market. Okay. I think that's it. Thank you so much, June. So if ever they have questions, no, is it okay to approach you for consultations like that?
I think they could reach me through my email.
Okay, sige. Okay, so thank you, June. So maybe in the future we'll invite you again. We
Okay,
learned a
thank
lot
you.
from you today.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Anytime. Okay.
Thank you so much.